Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 21st What a Thought episode. Holy heck. That's a lot. It's so insane to have made it this far. It's really crazy. And I know someone's like, oh, it's not that crazy. Hey, to me, it is. Okay? It is a little crazy. This episode's going to be a little short. I'm doing laundry. I've got like 30 minutes left on the dryer. So, I'll have to go get that. Because the last thing I want is someone to take my stuff out of the dryer and just set it aside. Because I think that's weird. Even though I did that to someone with the washing machine. Because here's what I say. It's weird for someone else to move your things if you leave it in the dryer. Because maybe you're just running like a minute or two behind. And they're just like, I've got to go. But with the washing machine, dog, that's uncomfortable. Those clothes are wet. Move those. Get to those quickly. Because the timing is never on par. It never is. The washing machines all wash in 30 minutes? 31? 31 minutes. Because then I always put it for 30. So I'm down there in the last minute. But the dryers are all 45 minutes. So your stuff will be done in the wash before it's done in the dryer. And so then if someone else comes in and puts their stuff in the wash and then they need a dryer, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. My back hurts so much right now. My back has been hurting since I went down for spring break. Yeah, spring break. That happened. Spring break. For those that have been listening and got to enjoy that moment from 2 weeks ago, I will reference it again. Maybe one of these days I'll watch The Mutilator. All of my knowledge for The Mutilator comes from watching the Dead Meat episode. Because as I have learned, with creating all of this content, you lose the time to sit back and take in content. That's what I've finally started to realize, because I've heard other YouTubers talk about it, like, oh, I don't watch YouTube, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Or they're like, oh, I don't get the chance to watch new shows or movies and stuff like that. And I'm like, huh, how interesting. And I just never questioned it. And then now I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, let me make a video every single day and then stream on 2 days and then record a podcast on one of the other days. And I go, oh, wow, I've missed 30 videos from one of the 30 creators that I watch. And I'm just like, oh, I don't have the time to catch up on that. Because then I'll be like, well, I'm trying to watch a show or I'm trying to watch a movie or something like that. And it keeps happening. And then I'm like, oh, I understand. I understand a lot. I finally got the chance to watch the, what's that thing called? I finally got the chance to watch the Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a week after it came out, because I just did not have the time to try and get to it before that. I tried really hard, but something kept coming up, whether it was more work or videos that needed to get stockpiled for spring break, because videos came out during spring break, but I didn't record during spring break, so I had to do it all ahead of time. And so I was just kind of dying doing all that stuff. So then I finally got to see the Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre while I was on break, because I didn't really have a break. I worked the whole week except for the day I drove up and the day before I drove down, and then the day before I drove back up to campus. And that movie's so bad, guys. It's so bad as a Texas Chainsaw movie. I firmly stand by the idea that if it had just been its own thing, and wasn't connected to the Texas Chainsaw franchise, or heck, if it even was just not Leatherface, if the other Sawyers or Hewitts, I don't know what timeline this is for them. Well, I guess they mentioned Sally, so I guess it would be the Sawyers. It would have been fine if I was just oh yeah, I don't have to ever acknowledge Leatherface in this one. It's a Texas Chainsaw without Leatherface. And I know people would feel weird about that, but I think we could have gotten a very different movie if we didn't have Leatherface, And if it wasn't a Texas Chainsaw film, I think it could have been better than what it was. It's very short. It's a very short film. I think the movie itself is done by like the 70-minute mark, somewhere near the 70-minute mark, which is real short. Especially because if you look at like a lot of horror movies nowadays, they've gotten kind of long. Not in like a bad way, but just there's a lot that they have to get through now. Especially in doing another requel, another reboot sequel, as Scream has tastefully put the name out there for everyone. So now it's gonna 100% become a more used piece of like statements. More people are definitely gonna say it. I can feel it deep within me. But that's what this Texas Chainsaw movie was. It was another reboot sequel. So they had a character come back from the original. They brought back Sally, played by a different actress because of, the actress who played Sally in the original is dead. May she rest in peace. But then they brought in their new characters, the ones, that they're going to hand over the franchise to. I'm like, okay. They did that. Scream did it better. The Scream 5 movie. Hey, it's Scream 5. I know they just called it Scream, which I think is dumb. But I know it's because of the whole reboot sequel thing, like how Halloween did it. Because, Halloween 2018 is a continuation from the original Halloween, but it's also just called Halloween. And there's now 3 movies called Halloween. It's too many, dude. You got the OG, you have the Rob Zombie remake, and then you have this reboot sequel one, the requel. Saying that word feels weird, but we've got the requel. And Texas Chainsaw movie was, dude, just leave Sally out. Every time Sally showed up, I felt like the movie was getting dumber. And I don't know what it was. It just got so dumb. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, it just kept getting worse. And it kept going. And I was like, no, you guys can stop. You can stop at any time. Like, that's okay. We'll understand. Just don't. But they kept going. They kept on going. And like, there were some cool kills in that movie. There were some cool sequences. Like, I enjoyed the death of the first cop in this new Texas Chainsaw. That was insane. Whoa, dude. Like, hey, this is my podcast. I'll talk about what I want. So sorry if you wanted to see this movie. I've given you like enough chance at this point to be like, maybe I should stop listening. That first cop, dude, he gets his wrist snapped and then he is stabbed in the neck with his own wrist bone. Hey, as the first like Leatherface in like completed kill of the movie, oh, what a way to go. What a way to kick us off. You've put me in such high spirits. And then after that, it gets so downhill. It just goes down. It really does. It really, really does. And I was just like, oh, man. And then they tried to do like a little like MCU-esque teaser at the end. Like a little, what do we call those? After credit scene. They tried to do an after credit scene. And I was like, stop. You're not a good movie. You're not worthy of whatever sequel you're trying to set up. Okay? Because it's not good. God, was it bad. I'm going to stop talking about that one. I'm going to go back to my back pain. Because I didn't properly mention that. Oh, dude, my back. Oh, my God. I don't know what I did. That's the thing. I worked, like I said, I worked the whole week. And the belief is that because I don't like working where I was working, because it was solely about the fact that I needed money, that I just was keeping myself so tensed and stressed to the point that I hurt my back. And then the other one was that standing for 8 hours, multiple days in a row, 8 to 9 hours, multiple days in a row, when you haven't done that for like 3 years, that would also do it. Just my back not prepped or ready for that, which is understandable. It's been a while. I've been doing exercises on my own, but like, there's no exercise that really preps you to be like, oh, let me stand up for 9 hours. Yeah, let me just stand. Walk around? No, just stand. Stand still. Stand right there. There's nothing that preps you for that. You just kind of have to do it. And like that's okay, and not all at the same time. So my backpack, wow, my back has just been not vibing. It just really has not, and I've had to accept it. And I'm just like, it is what it is. But yeah, this episode is called My Back because it still hurts. I am 2 weeks removed, right? No, I'm 1 week removed from spring break. So it has been hurting since like day 3 of spring break, and it has been hurting for a whole week of being back. And so like I'm not having a good time, y'all. It seems to be like worse if I sleep, like if I don't know. It tends to hurt the most when I'm laying down and try to move. That's when it really tries to just kick me in the butt, and I die a little bit. But like, it is what it is. What else? What else is there? I went bowling yesterday. I'm gonna go bowling again today. Actually, that's another reason why this episode's gonna be short. The laundry is the first reason, because I can't just let it sit, because then someone will touch it, and it's sheets, and I'll feel really weird if someone touches my freshly clean sheets. I have a method to my madness. But and then the other reason I'm going bowling again, because dude, I forgot how fun bowling can be. I don't know if it's like being young that makes bowling seem uncool, but man, oh man, bowling. That was such a fun time yesterday. It was a very large group of us, that went bowling. So there was a lot of us there, but even still, I was like, this is a lot of fun. This is so much fun, and like I'm excited to do it again. Although my back hurts more today than it did yesterday, so I'm sure my bowling is gonna be even worse. Dude, I bowled my first frame and got two gutter balls, and I was just like, ugh, that's not good. I was like, that's not good at all. But after that, like I was doing pretty solid. I kept getting like 9 out of 10 pins, but then the 10th pin would always be like on the very edge somewhere, so I couldn't get it, and I'd be like, so I couldn't get the spare. I could have won if I got that spare. I got really close. The score I got was in the 80s, and the triple digit score that won overall I think was like 105. So like I know that first frame really messed me up, and then like all the ones where I didn't get spares really messed me up too. But I had to bring in that good old like Wii bowling knowledge, like for those that remember Wii bowling, or for those that still play Wii bowling, because hey, Wii bowling is really fun. Okay, it is. I know there are people that don't believe me, but I promise you it is. What was I? Wii bowling. Yeah, like keeping your hand straight, like making sure to release in such a way that you don't curve the ball, like all that stuff I learned because of Wii bowling. And I think that's so goofy because I think other people are like, no, that is not how I learned bowling. It would be so weird. I'd be like, nah, that's not weird. It's like, this is how I learned bowling. I've learned bowling this way. What is this? I've been sent a message. Is he a Florida man? Is Wrinkles the Clown a Florida man? I have just been sent an article that just says the real story behind Wrinkles the Clown is weirder than you think. What is this? Who got his name thanks to a distinctive droopy mask with empty black sockets for eyes? For a few $100, he told the paper then, he'd scare your child into behaving. Oh no! He refused to reveal his name at the time, saying only that he was a retired veteran who moved to Florida from Rhode Island. Oh, why Florida? Why? Oh. His story was exaggerated? Okay. The calls to his phone number were real. Interesting. Interesting. Wasn't a real dude. Yes and no. I've learned a lot in just the 30 seconds about reading this Wrinkles the Clown article. With all the videos. I think that's pretty interesting. Can you imagine though, just hiring someone in like a clown costume to scare your child into behaving? That'd be wild. It's like, all right, Susie, have a good night. Like you tuck her in, and then just a clown man crawls out from under the bed or from pops out from in the closet, and he's like, "You better be good," and like just runs off or something. Like that'd be terrifying. I would. Oh God, that would be horrifying. Oh no, I can't imagine if someone did that to me. I already look okay. I streamed the last 2 nights, right? I did Hotline Miami 2 and I did Red Dead Redemption. And both times I get a knock from my bathroom door. Not the door to my room, the bathroom door. And the first time I was really confused because I'd already gotten someone else knocking on my door earlier that night, and they came to talk to me, and I was like, "Oh, this is fine, whatever." So then when I got this one, and I went, "Is that my bathroom door?" Already, that is a fear factor like upper. That is the equivalent to the call is coming inside that from inside the house type thing. Like, no, no one wants that. No one wants that at all. Did you watch the documentary? Because why? Why would you watch that? I don't want to watch the Wrinkles the Clown documentary. I think I would watch that just to get it off my screen. Um, but yeah, it felt like the call is coming from inside the house. Like that's how it felt in that moment. And I was just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. It was the same person both times. It was Rebecca. If you caught the streams, you saw Rebecca. If you don't know Rebecca, Rebecca's a very sweet person. She's very kind. Love her to death. And the second time it happened, I was just like, well, I know who that's got to be. Because I was like, there's no one else who's going to suddenly try to make an appearance in my room while I'm streaming through my bathroom. Then Rebecca. And for context, the bathroom is a shared bathroom in these dorms. So I share it with another human being so that they go through the other human being's room specifically to enter through the bathroom rather than just coming to my door. It could just come to my door. But no, 'tis not what happened. And now we are here. Oh, what a time that was. Streams are going well. I'm enjoying it. I'm getting like really into the groove. I keep like acquiring new games that I'm excited to like bring to stream. I got Death Stranding recently. I got it during the spring break. The one day it didn't work, I was able to check out the GameStop down there, see what they had on sale. And I got Death Stranding. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'm excited for Death Stranding. And then I got Doom Eternal because I've played 2016 Doom and I had a lot of fun with it. I struggled with a lot of it because I'm not good at games like that. What the heck? What the? I don't know if you guys just heard that, but someone just like howled. They just howled. I'm so confused. What? Okay. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, Doom Eternal. I played Doom 2016 and I had a blast with that game. So I was like, oh, snap. Doom's on sale. Doom Eternal's on sale. This is the moment I should get it. So I bought it. And like I haven't played it yet, and part of me is like, well, let me play Doom on the channel cuz then I can play Doom Eternal and like not know what's going to happen. Because I've it's been pointed out to me now that like more people are trying to watch my content. Like that's part of the issue they have with some of my stuff is that if it's a game I've played before, they can tell. They're like, oh, you know what's about to happen, so it's not that fun to see your reaction. I'm like, okay, I get that. And I've been trying really hard to avoid doing that again from like this point on. So like a lot of the games that I own still that like I've never beat, those are fine to do. But there are some games where I've completely gone through them already, and it's very noticeable. Like, oh, you've played this game before, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I have. So like right now, Spider-Man's going up. You know, everyone loves Spider-Man. It's a good game. But I've played Spider-Man before, so like it's very obvious and noticeable. Like, oh, you've you've played this game, and it's like, yeah, I've played this game. I've definitely played this game, and I've mentioned that I've played this game, but because I've played it, my reactions don't feel as authentic. They don't hit as hard, and I never thought about that until now, and especially now that I've got a cam, I've got a face cam. It's gonna be a while before the videos on YouTube have it. I'm testing it out with the stream stuff first, and it's really taken a toll on my CPU. It's using up almost half of it to try and run it with my face. So that means eventually I'll have to upgrade to another stronger desktop, which means I'll probably just have to build it with time. But like, that's the Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales they're the last big open world games that will probably be like, I know what's gonna happen. I don't fully remember the events of Miles Morales, if I'm being honest with you. I bought that game on a whim last semester. Yeah, bought it last semester and then like just tore through it in 3 days. That's all it took. I was like, yep, and I'm done. And then I put it away, and I haven't touched it since. And it's not as long, clearly, because it only took 3 days. But Spider-Man, like OG one, that one, like I invested time into that game, a lot of time, and like I had a really good time with it. And so like, of course, I remembered its story way more. But like, I'm also playing Wolfenstein right now, and you know, I'm having a good time with that. I've never played Wolfenstein before. I've got that one, and I've got its sequel, and I was like, this is gonna be dope. I'm excited. I'm hoping people are liking the Wolfenstein videos as much as like the Spider-Man one. I know it's not the most popular thing next to Spider-Man. Spider-Man's clearly gonna win out no matter what. But I really liked Wolfenstein. I'm excited to do the second one eventually. It was a nice change of pace. Yeah, that's the best way to put that. I also picked up the Insane trilogy for Crash Bandicoot, and oh, dude, I'm so excited. I played the only Crash Bandicoot game I ever played like personally was oh snap, was that, which one was that? Oh no, it was on the PS2. Oh, dang, I'm blanking out. Crash Bandicoot games. I want to say the correct name. Because there's so many. And I know they made a new one like 2 years ago. Yeah, they made a new one, a fourth one for to follow up the Insane trilogy. Which one was it? It wasn't one of the racing ones. It was like, oh, was it this one? Yeah, Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex. I'm pretty certain that's the one that is sitting back at home. Yeah, that's the only one that looks correct. And I couldn't even tell you anything about the game except for that I was terrible at playing it. Dude, I'm so bad with old school controls. I'm so bad with them. Yeah, that's right. I'm responding to a text. Was I saying bad with old school controls, but I love old school games. I bought a copy of, I think it's Tekken 2 for the PS1. And dude, I'm really loving it. It's very goofy. Fun fact, if you didn't know, if you play a PS1 game on the PS2, you have to have a PS1 controller, and I didn't know that. Luckily, had PS1 controllers because my sister had also had a PS1, my older sister, because she was the gamer of the family. Dude, Crash Bandicoot. Oh, I'm so excited for the Insane trilogy. I'm so hyped for no good reason. I just really like I really like Crash Bandicoot. I think he's so cool. And it's so dubbed too, because I definitely got it on the Xbox One and not the PlayStation, which is like a weird slight. But they didn't have it. They didn't have it over for like the deal that was occurring. They didn't have it on the PlayStation. They had it on the Xbox. And originally I wasn't gonna get Death Stranding. I was gonna get Subnautica Below Zero because I was really excited to do that one too, since I've done the first Subnautica on the channel. But then like they didn't have it. I would have had to go somewhere else to find it, and it would have been weird. It would have been real weird. So I was just like, I'll pick up Death Stranding. So I'm excited for Death Stranding because I still don't know what it's about. My knowledge of Death Stranding is still just baby in a jar, walking around, you have a ladder. That's it. That's all I know. And there's apparently like Monster Energy product placement. whatever that means for this game. Dude, can you believe that there's like 6 more things in my notes that I haven't touched? I'll touch one more, because I'm definitely going to leave off talking about the TV show I watched over the course of the entire spring break, because that's a big one. I probably want to do some more Googling and have actual information maybe for it, rather than just like, let me talk off the top of my brain. Probably want to refresh myself on like character names and stuff for it. So instead I'm going to talk about Gattaca. Gattaca. What is Gattaca? Gattaca is a science fiction movie from the 90s. Yes, from the 90s, starring Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman and Jude Law, which you should know maybe all 3 of those names, hopefully. I know for more magic loving people, aka people that like Harry Potter, Jude Law is currently playing Dumbledore in the Fantastic Beasts movies. Uma Thurman, if you know Quentin Tarantino, you should know Uma Thurman at this point. And then Ethan Hawke is just kind of everywhere. His face is just barely getting older as he ages. He's an interesting guy. I think, what is he, Sinister? Yeah, Sinister. That's Ethan Hawke. That's the Ethan Hawke my brain knows, but this is a different Ethan Hawke. And the whole premise of the movie is that your life is dictated by your genetics, right? That is the future they live in. Is that if your genetics are good, you can just about do anything you want. But if there is some defect within you that your genetics like scans show, then you cannot. You will be like withheld and rejected from doing certain things. And Ethan Hawke's character has a heart condition, so he spends his whole life essentially being rejected from things, and his only dream is to go to space. He wants to go to space. He wants to join Gattaca, which is the academy that is doing, it's like that's all it does. They send people off into space, right? So that is why it's called Gattaca. And so Jude Law is a character who is bound to a wheelchair, and so he has offered up his identity for someone else to take. So Ethan Hawke is the person that takes it, you know? So he's got to like use samples from Jude Law's character to like get through things and like pass inspections and whatnot. And then the whole like catalyst point for like what the movie is about is that, oh god, is it their flight director? I think it's the flight director. This is what I get for not Googling things beforehand. I get to just sound stupid when I'm like, was it the Yes, okay. An investigation into the death of a Gattaca officer complicates Vincent's plans to travel into outer space, right? Because this guy is murdered, and everyone's like, well, everyone here is valid. There's no DNA to be found, but they find one of their little DNA search things finds an eyelash, right, from Vincent. That's Ethan Hawke's character. They find an eyelash, and so they're like, there's an invalid. That's what they call them. There's an invalid here in the building in Gattaca, and he shouldn't be here because he used to work here as a custodian, but he disappeared years ago, right? So they go on this manhunt, essentially, to try and find this invalid who they think has murdered this dude. Granted, I'll tell you this. I'm about to go read the Wikipedia article real quick, because I cannot remember how, if we find out, I missed whoever murdered the dude. I'm pretty certain it was Uma Thurman's character. Where is it? Da-da-da-da. They don't tell us. They don't tell us. Okay, never mind. It's not. They don't have it in here. I don't remember if they find out in the movie. But essentially, the whole catalyst for the manhunt for Vincent doesn't get resolved. I still personally believe that they were murdered by Uma Thurman's character, you know? And I'm sure someone who's seen the movie like properly, because I missed the end because I was cleaning. And that's all, like I missed literally just like the portion between Vincent swimming against his brother Anton and then Vincent like getting on the ship to go into space. I missed just that little bit. And my brain is just like, who did it? I want to know. They set up this murder and then it doesn't get resolved properly. And I just want to know who did it. Who committed the murder? Oh man, if you watched Gattaca and you know who did it, like if they mentioned it and I really just managed to miss such a small enough sliver that it had consequences, please tell me. Please do. I do want to know. I'm very intrigued. Otherwise, it's an alright film. It's got the stylings of like this is a different movie. Oh, yeah, that's my laundry, dog. Yeah, it's got the styling like it could have been a better movie. Because I've never heard anyone talk about it. It was only brought up because my brother asked me. He was like, "Have you seen this?" I was like, "No, what is it?" And he couldn't remember what it was called. And he saw it again, and then we watched it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's all right." And he was like, "Yeah, it's all right." And that's just sort of what it was. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna just chop this right off right here. Thank you guys so much for listening to the What a Thought podcast. I know it's a little short today, but that's all right. I'm excited for bowling. I have to get my laundry. I also gotta put sheets on my bed. Yeah. What was I gonna say? It's gonna be a while before you see a camera in the videos on the YouTube channel. It just is. That one's a little harder to do. I gotta do some compositing and whatnot. And by compositing, I just mean I have to put the two different recordings together to make that happen. So I gotta wait till I have more time on my hands. So that's that. I don't expect to ever put a face cam to the podcast yet. If I ever have a guest, it would make more sense. 21 episodes, wow, of listening to just me is a lot for someone. But if I had a guest, I'd probably use the camera, let you guys see us. I'd have to figure out how to put those two things together. But it would be fun. I'd be intrigued. Maybe I'll make that happen if that's something you guys want one day. You let me know in the comments down below. The What a Book will not be getting a face cam. That one will never get face cam. That one, the focus is the book. Same thing with the Sunday drives. I'm sure you guys will see eventually once the images start going up. But I've decided Sunday drives will not get face cam because the Sunday drives, the focus have always been the game. I turn off the mic. There's no commentary. So like it makes more sense that there is nothing else in that except for that. And that's cool. I think that's dope. I think having my own set of like, I don't want to say morals, but like ideals that I follow along with for what I do and don't do, that's a good way to go about it. Yeah, so thank you guys again for listening. I've been Matthew Allen. This has been the What a Thought podcast. If you just can't wait to get something else from me, make sure to go check out the gaming channel where I upload daily. There's a video every single day. If you don't want games, check out the What a Book. It's here on the same channel as the What a Thought. I stream every Friday and Saturday at 7 Central Time. Yeah, I think that's all the things I have to talk about. I'm sure YouTube is real hopeful for this. Maybe it'll boost this out to people or something. It would be nice. But thank you guys again. I've been Matthew, and I'll see all of you next week.